Well, this is how the hunt ended up back at the boneyard. How my evening started was at the range, sighting in my IR Hunter MKIII Thermal weapon sight. The first shot wasn't too far off the mark. I had aimed right here. That shot impacted just about a half-inch high and left. I made a couple of adjustments. Aimed here and impacted the very top edge of the target, and I'm ready to go hunt. Carpe Sus. After 5 hours of hunting, had seen nothing. Finally came across these hogs in a pasture where we don't often see hogs. Looks like a small sounder and a bunch of cattle behind them. The wind is in my favor at this point, so everything is good in that regard. However, I'm at a fence line with a gate, and the hogs are too close for me to try to go through the gate, so I'm going to be shooting from the gate, which is actually in the landowner's front yard. As mentioned earlier, I'm getting video through my IR Hunter MKIII Thermal weapon sight, and it's mounted on a TX-15 multi-purpose carbine enhanced from Lone Star Armory that's going to be shooting Hornady SST 123 grain bullets loaded by Druid Hill Armory in the Starline brass.
Brass catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
Now the reason the hogs are in this field is because that is grain that the landowner has planted for his cattle. And as I'm watching them, I'm hoping the hogs are going to run off in this direction. This is the direction that they're facing, and it's the direction they're moving at this time. I need them to clear the cattle behind them before I start shooting. Some of you may have noticed that the hogs are different colors. They aren't actually different colors, it's just that the dark ones are dry, the white ones are wet, and the mottled ones are a little of both. You may have also noticed that the video looks a little bit hazy. This is because of all the dust in the air. For some reason, my IR Hunter seems particularly susceptible to seeing dust and recording it as haze in the air, so the image looks a little bit off. Now where I'm standing at this point is inside of a gate, actually in a corner, and I moved as far right as I can to try to get the best angle on these hogs. And now some of them have moved off to the left, and I'm checking again out to the left to make sure there are no cattle in that direction. And I think I'm going to line up on these two right here. Alright, here we go. Shot 2 missed, but the third shot connected with the runner. And I don't see any cattle behind it. Just drop it right there. Got 2 little ones in the distance, but I'm waiting to see if something happens with the wounded hog. There it is. Get it dropped for good. And I follow this runner as it works its way down the fence line. Start to get lined up on it, and it goes on the move again, which is not what I wanted. But finally it does stop, and I drop it at 170 yards. Some of you may be thinking that the third shot looked a little iffy. So let's take a look at that. Too much lead on the second shot, coming around to the third shot. And this is the last frame before the shot broke. There are no cattle in the background. After the shot breaks, I'm going to swing through, and then you're going to see the cattle. So that was a clear shot. The first hog down was a 115-pound sow that was not pregnant. I thought she was the big hog of the night. Followed by a 100-pound gilt that was pregnant with 4 on board. And the last hog at 170 yards was a 115-pound boar, the same size as the sow. And these were the first and the last hogs of the night. Carpe Sus, my friends.